Hello, my name's Lisa Jane, your host for this program, 7 Principles to Self-Care. I started this program based on my clients' feedback. Each time that they come to me to find out how I self-care, I would go through my 7 principles. The big one that come up for my clients was they wanted to know how to implement it into their lives. So we've already run through meditation, we've run through water and sunlight, and today we're going to talk about connection with self and connection with others. We're going to touch on vibrations and frequencies, what that means, and we're also going to talk about the impact when we're disconnected. I have Belle and Nevi coming on today, who are the founders of Soulful Tribes. They run workshops and retreats, and their specialty is connection. They are both Reiki masters. Belle is also a kinesiologist and Nevi is also a pranic healer. I first met Belle over a decade ago in the health, wellness and beauty industry, and we stayed connected, and she then met Nevi and collaborated together with her to create Soulful Tribes. I am delighted to have them on board today to discuss with me the importance of connecting with yourself and others, and to show you how this will actually help you to prevent illness, disease, and conditions on the body. They also specialize in essential oils, so we are going to dig a little bit deeper when it comes to healing and how essential oils will help heal you further. So without further ado, I'll bring these beautiful ladies on board. So thank you, Belle and Nevi, for joining me today.
Thanks for having us, Lisa. That's right, you're welcome.
It's lovely to see you, Belle. Belle is a very long-time friend of mine, and we met over a decade ago in the health and wellness and beauty industry. It's lovely to stay connected, and for the first time we are collaborating today.
Yes, definitely. We've both come a long way since then, haven't we?
We have, yes. We've changed and fine-tuned and tweaked who we are, and now we're out there helping others in the industry of connection. So I'm loving this today, where we're going to talk about the principle of connection. And so the first thing I want to touch on is, what is connection? What does it actually mean?
It's a big topic, isn't it? Yeah. I think the thing with connection is actually just feeling in your body and then connecting with others. So there's connection with self and there's connection with others. And that's a really critical thing, I think, just as a human being. Like, we have a job to do, right? Like, we get up in the morning and we go to work. We have a job to do. We have responsibilities. But actually, almost like, I think connecting in general is a responsibility we have as human beings to lead a really fulfilled life.
Yeah, exactly. And every day we're on the go, forgetting about connecting with self, and we're on autopilot. Tell me a little bit more about that, Belle, because I know that's something that you were talking to me about earlier today.
Yeah, it's so much of our lives, you know, we're in survival mode. It's like, I've got to pick up the kids from school, I've got to go to this meeting, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. And you totally just go into autopilot. It's like you're not connecting to your heart, you're not connecting to, what does your spirit want? What does your soul want? What emotions are you really truly feeling? Like, a lot of people that I see in my clinic constantly have adrenal fatigue. Everyone's just has adrenal fatigue, and they're in survival mode, and people aren't actually giving themselves time to connect with what does their soul want deep down. You know, what's going on in their heart really? What's going to really make them happy? They think they're happy on the surface, but they're actually really just rushing around all the time and not even having time to actually really think and enjoy their lives on a really deep level. So that's what we like to try to do, is help people like connect with their heart.
Exactly. So what's some ways then that we can connect with our heart?
Well, the obvious one's meditation, but, you know, everyone will say that to you. But I think, like, personally, we have our own list of things that connect to the heart. So we might do a meditation, a chakra meditation, but I have a list of love tank, like, ideas that I've got to, once a week, at least 1 to 2 of those actions on my list of filling up my love tank need to be actually accomplished for me to feel like I'm connected. And that could be as simple as going to the park and walking in nature, spending, maybe doing yoga, which is what Belle loves to do, actually stopping and reading, getting away from my screen,
going to watch a movie at the local cinema, like the local art house cinema, because that really enriches my spirit. Like that creative world where I get to kind of step outside of what I do every day for a job really, really has me connect to what's important to me. And if I don't do that, I really feel the difference. Like after a couple of weeks or 3 weeks, if I haven't done 1 to 2 of those tasks on my tasks, I say, but actions on my list, I become one of those like crazy, oh my God, I'm living like a hamster on a wheel. We were just talking about it today. I really hit a wall on Saturday morning. So I was like, here I go again, sitting behind my computer, tapping away, working all hours of the day and night. And I was like, yep, I know what's missing. I haven't done the actions on my list. Like I haven't gone for a walk and done all those things that I like to do. So yeah, I think that hopefully answers that question.
Like for me, it's yoga by far. Like I love Yoga Harder, my little local yoga studio. And I go there and I get hugs and kisses. I've got like this gorgeous tribe and this community of people that I love and make me happy. And I go and get hugs and kisses, and then I get to do beautiful classes. And for me, yoga used to be about the hard classes and exercise. And now I'm doing all this restorative and yin and pranayama and meditation. And it's amazing. I've also been doing art again. I've been drawing and, doing colouring in, but drawing and doing pictures. It's like all I think about is that for that amount of time. It's meditation in other ways, like I do the breathing meditation as well. I do. But
like mindfulness really, isn't it?
Yeah, mindfulness. But I like to do creative things in other ways. For me, salt baths. Oh my God, that's like my heaven on earth, is to have a salt bath. Or just go to the beach, hug a tree, They're things that connect me back to me and ground me back into my body when I'm all crazy up here.
And that's the thing, that's the key. We've got to catch ourselves out before we get to that point, knowing we are going to start going crazy. So I like, Nevi, what you said, knowing what helps you to connect to yourself and putting that in your journal or your diary. I've actually got in my phone at 10 o'clock every day, it's called self-love, a little note comes up, self-love. And I just take a minute just to remind myself what I love about myself. And sometimes I look in the mirror and I go, how you doing? And it just gives that boost of confidence. And I also have one in the afternoon as well at about 3 o'clock. And it's a good time because it's before I'm going to pick up my daughter from school. And it's another time just to check in as well why I love myself. So it just helps to balance out the day, because I get through, like you were saying before, I'm always rushed on the go in my masculine. It then is harder to get into my feminine energy. So can we touch on that a little bit about masculine and feminine energy and how that has got to do with connection with self?
Oh, that's a bit of a tough one, isn't it? I guess you go. Yeah.
Yeah, because we are, we're all in the yang. We're in the masculine and we're working hard and we're striving and we're moving. And we need the yin time. We need the goddess feminine time. Like, I'm even creating this amazing divine feminine goddess potion at the moment because that's another thing that keeps coming up for me in the clinic. Everyone's just out of balance because we don't have enough feminine yin time. We need to slow down, calm down, pamper ourselves. For me, it's grab an essential oil and breathe it in for 3 minutes, and I can pull myself out of the yang into the yin. But whatever works for anyone. I don't know, for some people, I don't know, might be painting their nails or going and playing cricket. I don't know. Everyone's going to have a different thing. But you need to bring yourself back into your feminine, into your creative, and out of that world of rushing and working and stuff all the time.
That's true.
Like that's a thing with the way work is, particularly when you work in a corporate environment like I do, everything really does work when you're in your masculine. But it's a really beautiful world to see when I challenge myself often with trying to lead from the feminine, but with an edge, if that makes sense. So I think that in life is such a constant challenge for us in this everyday, this, century that we live in, where you really have to consciously stop and be like, right, I am definitely not feeling, it's almost like feeling feminine as well.
What can I do?
Soften. That's a good word.
Soften and slow down.
That is actually a conscious, it's almost like the phone thing. I do that with manifesting. At 5:30 p.m, my manifesting message comes up. It's almost like it would be great to have that in existence as a little like, hey, let's tick on your feminine for a minute. And that could just be with a colleague in a 9 to 5 job where you're like, hey, how you doing today? with no agenda, no reason to ask, no meeting to go to, but just kind of checking in and being like that. And I think in the last couple of years where I've consciously, even personally speaking, tried to do that, I noticed that actually you can still achieve what you need to without needing to be in that demanding masculine energy. However, having said that, it has served me extremely well in getting to where I have in my life, but I see the balance is really lovely.
But we need the balance in our lives. We always need the yin and the yang, and it's about balance. You can't have one without the other, because you can't be too much in the feminine all the time either.
That's
life is all about, having the connection and actually being balanced and having both.
Exactly. And what Nevi said before about your colleagues, that helps you to stay accountable, really. It's great to have an accountability buddy in work as in life as well. And I do get people checking in. I've got a psychologist friend that will actually now and then just type, how are you feeling? And so it's lovely, because then it helps me check in, and then I send him a message. He lets me know how he's feeling. And so that connection there is absolutely wonderful too. So connecting with others is really important, because in relationships, if we're not connecting, that too can actually start to turn disastrous, and then we can have breakups or breakdowns in relationships. So what are some ways to help us know how to connect with other people?
I think communication is a big deal. When you start to go into shutdown, like Saturday morning, I really was about to not say anything to anybody other than have a cry and deal with what my circumstances presented, which was doing more work and having a deadline. And I called a friend who I was meant to catch up with, and even he was like, being in communication is such a gift. And I was like, that's a good point. I think often we want to shut down for many reasons. Don't burden the other person, don't be vulnerable, whatever it is. But I think communication is a big thing.
Yeah, it's a really big thing.
And connecting with others.
That's, communication on a level like this is fantastic. But then my mind starts going to different kind of levels, like frequencies and vibrations, energy. So can you explain, is there a difference between vibrations and frequencies, or are they the same thing?
Pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. I would say that's all the same language. And vibration mainly tends to be measured in megahertz. So a thought vibration, a negative one, can have a 12 megahertz rating. And then a can of food, we always use this example in our events, 0, like absolutely 0 megahertz. Whereas there are some essential oils, for example, particularly the only one I can vouch for is the Young Living one. The rose essential oil has 320 megahertz.
And what's peppermint again?
Pepper.
We use that one all the time.
That one I don't know off the top of my head, which is terrible to say, but
it's crazy high too.
They're all actually quite high. There isn't a low essential oil. If you do your research, there isn't any that go super low. They're all around the 70, 80, 100, 150, etc. If you think about that with a negative thought and how we can vibrate and how negativity can bring you down and loosen your connection to yourself and others, it's astounding to think that we call it nature's magic in a bottle, how that can elevate something so incredibly quickly. Because actually, even when you walk into a room and you feel there's a vibe that doesn't feel so great, you can feel it straight away. I don't care how spiritual you are or how connected you think you are or you're not. You can walk into a room and feel it straight away.
If someone had a bite or they're in a bad mood, you walk in and it's like, oh, there's that residue hanging on in here. Like, you can feel it straight away.
And I'm thinking that if we're not consciously aware of connecting with self and consciously aware of who we connect with, we can actually fall into that darkness and that toxic feeling when you walk in. So I have noticed my own journey now becoming really aware. I know it's not my stuff. So when I walk in, I'm able to be around that and not allow it to absorb. The white lighting is something that I used to do. I'm actually taking a step, I don't know what you call it, higher. I connect with my higher self, and then I just ground myself and I go earth myself, make sure I put my hand in some soil to make me feel like I'm not going into their toxic world of their negative thoughts.
Even so simple as a bit of peppermint oil or white angelica oil or some Palo Santo, you can put a couple of drops somewhere and you can go out into these environments, and that will also protect you from that as well. And it's about also just being conscious and going, oh, is this my stuff or is this theirs? Sometimes, you can be around people and think, I've been in this great mood all day, And now all of a sudden, I'm feeling a bit flat. And even just say at the supermarket, you can pick up someone's bad mood in line at the supermarket and thinking, I've been so happy today, and now I'm feeling flat all of a sudden. And just to be conscious and go, where did that come from? Is this me or is this them? And usually you go, well, that doesn't make sense for it to be me. Nothing's happened. It's them. And the feeling can just go away in minutes as soon as you're conscious of it. Like, so many people are empaths and they don't even realise it, and they're picking up everyone else's stuff along the way. And it's really great to just sort of be conscious and go, where did this funny feeling come from? This is not mine. And let it go.
That's when the law of attraction comes into it, because a lot of people then think, like attracts like, but you're in the aisle at the grocery store and you're like looking, going, am I attracting this because I am like this? However, the law of attraction goes deeper than that. I feel that sometimes we're not actually attracting that person because we are like that. It could be that when I'm standing there, it's happening is because I understand it. I could have been like that, but I've worked through it.
Very true. Yeah.
So when it comes to law of attraction, a lot of people have gotten confused that like attracts like, and that's what it's all about. But can we go a bit deeper in that, in your understanding of what the law of attraction is?
It's not just about the law of attraction. Like if you go to the Heart Math Institute and you just look at the way the heart feels, bigger than the brain or anything like that, and they say that the average aura is about 25 feet. Now, can you imagine 25 feet? Like, we are pretty much all connecting. Like, I'm still connecting with the lady that lives in the house next door, even though she's not in my house, right? So our energies with 25 feet are pretty much always interconnected. So you're in someone's energy. So you're at the supermarket. It's not necessarily about the law of attraction. A whole bunch of people are there shopping, but you're literally standing in their aura, in their space. We're all interconnected and we're all feeling each other's energy all the time.
Law of attraction is a tough one though, because I guess it comes back to that vibration frequency thing, doesn't it? The law of attraction talks about when you raise your frequency and you're open to the universe and what it has to offer, it will respond. And like you say, it's not always positive. It can sometimes be a little bit like the universe put something there and says, hey, remember me? Are we into this or not? Do you choose it or not? Once again, it always happens. And I think that, just kind of quickly going back to things like oils and thoughts and manifesting and positive intentions and all that stuff, all of that is lifting you up in a vibration that has you flow energetically with the universe, like in that vortex of where things actually are in alignment. When things are in alignment and connected to your true purpose or connected to what you really desire, not what you think you want or need, that's sort of where the law of attraction really starts to just absolutely kind of show everything to you, and you get to choose yes or no, this works for me or it doesn't.
And it sounds like what works for you guys and what's been working for your clients is the essential oils, when it helps with self-connection, connection with others, and with all your retreats that you've been running at the moment in Bali, which sounds absolutely beautiful. Tell us more about that.
It's exciting. Well, we have them in Ubud, which is about 40 kilometres out of Bali, and it's a beautiful energetic space. Ubud, it's like kind of being in your own version of Eat, Pray, Love, we always say. So it's very spiritual and calming, and we're having another one next August, but the retreat really has been created to capture and be on a discovery to what your heart truly desires. Because I think that we've noticed that in our lives and how extremely busy we all are, we are disconnected to potentially what we truly want. And watching a lot of the participants that came to our last retreat, they came pretty sure there was one way, but left having discovered actually their life is great, but they're ready for a new course. And some of them have started to take actions on that. We just got to
really exciting.
Yeah, it's really good. Because
people are like leaving jobs, relationships, making big, exciting changes in their life that needed to happen, like they were unhappy before. Now they've worked out, oh my God, my soul wants this, and I feel strong enough and courageous enough to go out and get it.
And it doesn't always look a certain way. This is not always like, unicorns and rainbows and things. It actually takes work to discover these things. And we always create a really safe and fun, caring environment where you can just be however you need to be, we're very much adaptable to going with whatever works. We had a crazy time in August, earthquakes, and it was like we had to scrap a whole morning of the itinerary and just decide to ad lib
meditation and healing circle instead. Like, so, you know, Nevi and I just really like go with the flow kind of people, you know, we just,
It's not always easy.
yeah, so whatever needs to happen,
Really important to do that when, you know, your people are watching you how to live life. So if trauma or chaotic moments arise, you're showing them what you do, what you need to do when that happens, so they can stay grounded and connected with themselves and others, and yeah, just flowing, going with the flow. It's very much like myself being a podcaster. You just got to go with it. And, you know, sometimes my cat jumps up here and I just have to go with it. Hasn't happened, which is fantastic. But lastly, I'm just having a quick look at what we were talking about last. Just the impact of being disconnected to self and the impact it has on other relationships. If we can just touch on that.
Oh, I think that's a lot of where sadness comes from, being disconnected to self and others. Definitely where, I mean, I'm not an expert on this by any means, but I think where depression can come from.
Yeah,
and
depression, anxiety, things like that. What if you spend days in bed? If you're disconnected from yourself, you could be angry, you could be frustrated, you could be resentful. So
flat. I'm feeling flat today.
So that definitely affects your family, your relationships with your partner, your work life. Like, you can't be looking at life from an optimistic outlook perspective, and feeling really happy when you're feeling, you know, angry and flat and disconnected and depressed. And it definitely affects all your friendships and your work. Like, people that are really disconnected, I see that, you know, some of those people are, you know, in the victim mentality. They're like, you know, I hate my job, I'm miserable, I'm happy in my relationship, and they kind of just feel stuck and don't even have enough oomph to somehow get themselves up and out of it, because they're so flat and deflated that they just don't even have the strength to go, okay, I'm going to leave this bad toxic relationship, I'm going to leave this job. They're just, I don't know, they just do, they're kind of stuck, aren't they?
I think the word stuck. It's definitely the word stuck. The flat and the stuck become your world. And I tell you, when you're not there and you're in where life gets created and in creation, and life is fantastic. Even when it's challenging, it's bloody brilliant. It is. But when you're disconnected, it can feel very heavy, burdensome. Like, you know, and it can be in a flash of a moment though, you know, this doesn't have to be over weeks or months. Like, it can literally be, I keep talking about my Saturday morning, but it literally was waking up and having a Groundhog Day experience of my life, where I went, here we go again, back behind the computer, off I go. So yeah, it's a very huge chasm to go from disconnected to connected.
And I think it's really good if you could somehow catch yourself along the way before it escalates to really bad. Just go, ooh, I'm not feeling as happy and as wonderful and as bright as I can possibly be. I feel like I'm going down some little rabbit hole here. And pick yourself up and shift your vibration and just give yourself that time. Sniff the oils, go to the yoga class, have the bath, go for the walk. I don't know, whatever it is that floats your boat. Go and do that thing to bring you back before it escalates into something bad. Because a lot of bad things, then with the law of attraction and the frequency and the vibration, it tumbles on and you just attract another bad thing and another bad circumstance and another fight with another friend. And then, you know, it all just tumbles on one after the other. So it makes sense to try and learn how to somehow catch those things if you can in the beginning and bring your frequency back. Yeah.
Excellent. So to take home for today, what is there a essential oil that helps us to reconnect? Is there one? I know there's many.
You know what? There is a gazillion. I'm going to say my favourite all-rounder is frankincense, by far. What's yours?
At the moment, my oil of my life is inspiration.
Oh, what does that mean?
Well, it's a blend.
Actually, I've got it right here because just before today, we've just put on inspiration and highest potential. So these are our oils.
Okay. I see now. All right, cool. Because the essential oils that I have are blends as well, and mine are the elements earth, water, fire, air.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, so I am an Ayurvedic practitioner in my workplace. So at the moment for me, lemon verbena is like for me at the moment. And it just awakens me because I'm so much in my head at the moment. So it just helps to clear that area for me. So I work on the doshas. But yeah, when you said inspiration, I was like, do you mean you look for inspiration. But that's great. What's the blend in that? What's
No,
the blend?
Yeah, it's like saving my life at work at the moment, creatively. But I like what you said, because actually intuitively you pick a wheel. So for the last month, inspiration's been the top of my list. But next month it could be something completely different. Because intuitively, when you're connected, that oil chooses you.
That's true. So can you read out what is the essential oils in that blend?
Oh, yeah, sure. If I can get this thing off. We have got cedarwood, black spruce, myrtle, coriander, royal Hawaiian sandalwood, frankincense, bergamot, one I can't read, ylang ylang, and geranium, in a nutshell.
Oh, they're good.
Wow.
Yeah.
They are
They're
like really beautiful essential oils. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's a big deal. What were we just talking about? I'm sorry, Lisa, go. Your turn.
No, that's it. I just, I knew I was throwing out a hard question. I just wanted to see what you would say. I wanted to know what your thoughts were.
I'm so sorry, we did so well until now. Oh my God.
So basically intuition, or just you going with what you feel that day, is really important, because when you're connecting with yourself, it is you that you're connecting with, it's not about what someone else likes. And I know that in your workplace, because I do something, not the same, just similar, I allow my clients to choose for themselves, and I'm sure you do the same as well. So I'd love for the members that are in here listening to this today to take a moment, write that list of all the things that you love to do, like what Nevi was saying, and then put it somewhere. It can be on a piece of paper, on the fridge, or in your phone, to remind yourself to do these connected little tasks or rituals for yourself. And also then get some essential oils.
Book the time in the diary so that weeks don't go by and you go, I don't have time. Like, I allocate time in my diary, so does she. Like, you've got to book the time in your diary. Like, make yourself that important that even if it's 2 hours a week, somehow book the time in for whatever that may be on the list. Because otherwise 3 weeks go by and you go, uh-oh, now I'm falling apart and haven't done anything for myself. What happened? Make yourself a top priority.
And also find yourself an accountability buddy like Nevi and Belle. They've got each other to check in every day with themselves. And I've got my groups that you're in as well. But also, if you ever need to reach out, you can contact myself, Nevi, or Belle. I'll put up a link of Soulful Tribes and like their page. And then, if you ever need to reach out, we're always there, aren't we, ladies?
Absolutely.
Yep, absolutely. Sisterhood.
Well, there may be some men in our group too, so brotherhood.
Yeah. We love men too.
We love men. We definitely love men.
Yeah, we love men. Oh, adore. Yes.
So thank you, ladies, so much for this opportunity to talk about the principle of connection and helping everyone to connect with themselves so they can prevent illness, disease, and conditions on their body, but also to prevent their relationships with the people around them from breaking down, so we can all lift each other up.
Beautiful.
Thanks for having us.
See you later.
Thanks, Lisa.